my needle through a few stitches just to finish off, and you only have to thread it through a few, because, you know, unless somebody's going to sit and unpick your cushions. In fact, they're only going to do it once if they do that, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. If we ask to leave nicely.
Absolutely. It's not going anywhere. It's really, really secure, and then all you need to do then is just cut off your yarn. Now, I've got a little bit left on there. I would probably start with a brand new piece, but I would hang on to that just at the end, just in case.
Okay.
You know, if I was like 2 stitches short, and I thought, oh, that'll be fine for that, won't it? Because although this has travelled several times through the canvas, it's not damaged the yarn at all.
Oh,
it's
right.
absolutely fine. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to just grab another piece, and I'm just going to thread my needle up with that. I mentioned earlier that I've never run out of yarn on these, and I haven't, and you always get such a lot, so you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to worry if you're travelling across the back, am I going to run out? You're not going to run out, you're really not.
No, that's great. Because there's nothing worse if you get a kit of any sort home and actually you're wary about it running out or anything. You're getting lots and lots and lots here, which is great.
It really is, and I know as cross stitchers we tend to be a bit frugal, and I was stitching earlier and I know I do it, and it's like, oh, I can get 2 more stitches, and you thread seriously this long, and it's like, I'm not going to unthread it. I've even gone as far as unthreading it, put the needle in and then rethreaded it.
Wow,
But
wow.
we don't need to do that on this.
You don't need to do that. By the way, you do need to be quick though, because if you wanted the Wolf, almost 80% of the stock of the Wolf has now already been allocated. They're on the same item code 176826, but if you really had your BDIs on those BDIs, then make sure you get yours as well. Very, very quick indeed. So, very good evening, by the way, to everyone in America. We've got a lot of people watching us in the States. We've got people there watching with us. Lovely to have your company. Thank you so much for being with us. Thank you.
Now, I'm just going to do the black on the other eye, because once I've got his eyes done, I'll feel happier about it. So I've put a little knot in the end of my yarn, and that knot's going to be cut off. It's okay. And then I'm going to stitch this area of black here. So I'm going to thread my needle down here, and this knot's going to sit on the top of my canvas there. And then I'm going to start stitching. I'm just going to check which way I stitched before. Yep. So I'm going to go bottom right, top left. And I'm going to do half the cross stitch of the row first, and then I'm going to come back and do the other half. And then each stitch, I'm actually overlapping the yarn at the back. So by the time I've done these few stitches in black, that yarn that I've put the knot on is going to be totally encased and therefore nice and secure, and I can just cut the knot off. So let's just do a couple more. Now you'll notice that I tend to stitch these with, I put my hand underneath, I bring my hand over to the top. Often you can stitch like this if that's comfortable to you. I tend not to, because I tend to alter my tension a little bit if I do that, but if that's comfortable to you, that's fine.
Right.
So I've got all the way to that end, and then I'm just going to return back the other way with the other half of my stitches, and that's all it is. This cushion is comprised of cross stitches, and that's as simple as it is. So if you've never done one of these cushions before and you think, oh, it's quite a large project, seems a little bit daunting, not in the slightest. That really is all it is. And then I'm just going to finish this off, and then I'll move up and I'll head on to my next row. So let me just get rid of this knot. I don't like knots at all.
No. Bridget and Rachel have been in touch, by the way. And the hedgehog and the cat, black backing.
Black backing.
I know everyone was on the edge of their seats.
Absolutely. We need a poll, don't we?
We do. And they also mentioned about how much yarn, they had loads and loads and loads of yarn left over as well from that as well. So when you talk about, you know, just you've got scrumptious amounts of this to work with. They've not skimped on these at all. Testament as well from those as well. So thank you very much indeed for letting us know about that. It's great to know that. That you just feel like I think that's part of having a luxury kit to work with. That it's not just that they know that they want you to get the best results from it, and it's not just about cutting here and cutting there, and that's really nice to know that you've got all of that material to work with.
I think you're so right there, Scott, and I think that's it. It's a luxury kit, and you're getting everything with it, even down to the label that you've got on that. It really is.
Everything's thought through.
It certainly is. So that I would continue with my back. I'm not going to, because actually I could sit here all night doing that. It's wonderful. But I will just take off that little knot now and turn it over so that you can just have a quick look at that. And you can see then that that yarn is perfectly encased within there. So you know that that's not actually going anywhere at all. And all I need to do then is complete as this one and finish it off. So and that's the wolf really. Just one last thing on this. So I think perhaps last time I was showing about how to just tie little bits of the wool on there, and I noticed that there was no yellow on there. So when you first get your kit home, just identify which colours are which. So this is the yellow, so I'm going to just pop a little bit on there. And you can just tie it through, she says, with confidence. Just go through there. No, go through.
Hope you've not
nicely.
skimped on that there. Now
Well, you know, yeah, that's. I mean, just look at the size of that. I've got all this extra yarn, and I've chosen a bit that's about 2 inches long. Now, there is a lot on this wolf in white, and you can see there's no white here. We've got the pale grey, and just on the pale grey, if Vervico think you might wonder what colour it is, they'll actually attach this for you. But if you look at the photograph on this one, you'll see there's a lot of white, and that's actually the background canvas colour. So the swatch would be there, but it's not because it's white. It's the background colour. So it's worthwhile just popping a little bit. Yeah, absolutely, a little bit on there as well, just to remind yourself that actually there is another colour on there, and that's the colour that it is.
Right.
And I know that sometimes it seems like overkill, but I have stitched the wrong colours. You know I have, and it's just, you know, why? For the sake of 5 or 10 minutes at the beginning of your project. Just do it. And also you get used to what colours you're going to be working with as well.
Right.
I mean, there's not a huge amount of yellow on this. You've got the stars, you've got the moon, but it's worth having it on there, Scott. Yeah,
definitely. It's really lovely. Do you know, I was thinking, you know, if for me to have a go, because I've never done any cross stitch before. This really, as a kit, as a luxury kit, whichever one you go for down the counter, does have everything you need to start off with. It's got the slightly blunted needle to work with the extra large eye, so that's perfect for me. You have got, I know I keep coming back to it, you know, but that whole idea of I can see clearly where I'm actually doing the work, you know, and I think that's one of the key important things. And to know that I've got all those fabric, you know, for the actual colours of all those threads to work with themselves, and I can see it's colour by numbers, but with the fabric really.
Yes, that's it with the yarns, and I think that's the lovely thing about it, isn't it? And that and the satisfaction of when you're actually stitching it. And in a few minutes, I'll just show you one that's been stitched, and you can see the depth of the actual yarn and just how, that's why it's so cuddly, how scrumptious it is. I'll tidy up a little bit first, Scott.
Yeah, that's all right, that's lovely.
My son's bedroom.
I will, I'll let you just tidy up for a second. We'll come straight back to you. Let me just give you the details again we're looking at now. We have got several of the different designs all on the first same item code. The item code you need, and this will include the sleeping cat, the sleeping dog. You've also got the crocuses, you've got the ladybirds, you've got the sunflower, you've got the flowers, you've got the blue tit, the wolf as well. They're all on 176826. All of those, and they're all the same price of £28.99 for all of those. So this is obviously we've got blue tit that you can see again there. I mean, they're all absolutely beautiful. Whatever project, and every one of these, you've got so many little elements of. You go, I'll just do the centres of the florals, or I'll just do the bird, or just do the wing, whichever much time you've got on your hands. They've all got, you can break them down into elements to work with. Let's show you. So that's the blue tip we've got. We've also got here, we've got flowers. If I show you flowers, and we've also got, to show the one that works with it really nicely. This is the mixed flowers. So mixed flowers has got the more blue in, and these are your flowers. You've got mixed flowers, flowers, mixed flowers, flowers. You get the message. Okay, but they would work really nicely together if you had those on, like on the seat that we've been looking at earlier on. You know, some of the pictures, they look great together. We were mentioning before that, you know, you want a bit of variety sometimes when you're doing your cross stitch. So this gives you enough variety as a pair, but you still get and end up with two that work beautifully together. The crocuses we saw here, also a little bit earlier on, works really nicely with the natural background if you were thinking about which cover to go with, because it brings out the lovely colours here that you can see in between the blues of the crocuses. So that's another one that's on the option for you. We've also got our lovely ladybirds, and I love these again with a really lovely big crisp white daisies that work with it, but still that lovely detail in the reds and the greens and the whites even, all of those, plus the sunflower that we were looking at earlier on, and of course the wolf that we've just been seeing work with. Oh, the wolf, by the way, is now approaching limited stock for the wolf. We've also got our lovely sleeping cat that's available for you, also on the same item code, as you can see there. Plus, we've also got dog sleeping as well. Look at his little face, just there on his paws. 176826, everything you need. The pattern, the design, you've got the thread in there, and you've got the needle, and you've also got the little label that you can stitch in to say that you've done that by hand. It's all just £28.99. Get cross-stitching now for any of those. Or the cat in the field of flowers is also now limited stock. No one sent a photograph yet if they've done this one with a little pussycat next to them, but it is limited stock now. If you love your cats, then this is certainly one of those you've got to have in the house. 335122, just £29.99, and just as you've seen, everything you need to make this will be there with regard to that. All you got to do is choose your backing to go with it, whichever one you want to go with. I think this one's got natural with it around the back, I suppose, because you've got lots of your natural colours in there, the browns and your taups, etc., to work with that. That's a really nice one to go with. That's 335122. Now, the lavender pots, again, whichever colour you want to go with your backing on these ones, but I really do like this. And again, because you are going to be getting some extra, you may want to do a little bows, etc. we were talking about, maybe at the very front of that. But just look at the lovely amount of different colours, you know, to keep your mind focused on these. Lots of different shades, again, of all the greens, and lots of different shades, again, of all that. But when you see that from a distance, that really does look beautiful. And lots of nice big block areas as well when you're doing your cross-stitching to work on, as well as the detail, of course, of the actual lavender itself. 924805, again, just £29.99. And last but not least, which is a real summertime. So I'm imagining this, you know, when you get the furniture out for the garden, etc. But, you know, sometimes that metal on there can be a little bit too hard and sometimes a bit too cold. Depends what you're wearing. If you're in a trunk, you don't want to sit just on the metal, do you? So you've got your summertime here. You've got a full garden. This is beautiful. In my garden, I do wish my garden looked anything like this, though. A lot of work's gone into this, but again, you're going to have a lot of fun doing this. 527623, just £28.99. Lots of colour, lots of detail to work on those. 527623, which is absolutely beautiful. Now, of course, don't forget, whichever project you're working on, you can find your backing. It's on the web. There are 4 options for all of those, and they are all different colours, and each one of the colours have a different item codes to work with. You've got your natural white, you've got your grey and your black to choose from, but you'll find those on hochanda.com. Right then, we've got, what we got? We've got about 12 minutes or so left. That's about it, really. It's time's flying again, isn't it?
It just goes too fast, doesn't it? It really does. So this is the lavender in the pot, and I think this is a really, really elegant design. And I've bitted and bobbed all over here as I felt so inclined. And I'm just having such a lovely time. But I wanted to show you how deep this stitching is. I mean, you can see the difference of when you've stitched and when you haven't. But if I just sort of try and turn it over, in fact, there we go. I'll just give you an edge. There's an edge. There we go. Can you see just how deep that is? And I mean, I can't measure that, I really can't, but you can see just how soft that is. And it really does have that depth, doesn't it? Yeah. And I was mentioning that I'm sort of looking at things and how you can add a little bit of your own personality to these. And I was looking at this earlier because I was actually stitching this in our brace, because you just got to, haven't you? It's non-stop. It's non-stop. Well, when you've got the opportunity to sit and stitch, it's just so lovely. And I thought, I really like the border on this. If I'd thought about it before I'd stitched it, I would have actually stitched the cross-stitch maybe the other way round, rather than keeping them just to give a little bit of extra texture. But then I was thinking, well, actually, you could do other things as well. We could lace it, we could whip it. But I thought one really easy way of making it stand out, and maybe the edges of the pot as well, was just actually to do a little back stitch. You've got the holes here ready. There's just room to pop the needle within there. And all it's going to do is just going to give a little bit more boldness to that design, and it's going to, yeah, absolutely, it's going to make it a little bit more yours. So you're just going to move forward, and then you're just going to go back over. So at the back, you're actually travelling over 2 stitches there to go forwards, and you could do this with a different colour. You've got lots of the yarn, so you could
That's
choose
true.
one of the others. Perhaps if you've got a different cushion kit, you could perhaps bring in another colour. It's another way of getting it to coordinate.
Right.
Or actually, you could use something like a metallic yarn, if you've got some metallic cotton, if you are a
nice.
stitcher, or sort of anything really. Ribbon would be great if you've got a fine ribbon on here as well, so you can add a little bit of extra texture. But doesn't it make a difference?
Yeah, you can. Can you see that?
I would definitely do it last, so I wouldn't carry on up here because I haven't actually stitched either side yet. So I would definitely do it last on that, but actually it's very satisfying to do as well.
But the nice thing again also, even though they've given you the pattern, they give you everything you need to do with this as well, that you can still add your own individuality onto these.
Yeah, I think so, and I think that's the really nice thing about it. I love the fact that you've got actually these block areas.
Yeah.
So you could personalise this. You could put initials on this. Maybe
Yeah.
this is going to be a gift for someone's birthday, or
lovely.
maybe
Or
an
dates.
anniversary, some dates. Actually, you know, let's celebrate 2021. Forget the other one. That's gone now. We're so
Absolutely.
over that. Let's celebrate 2021, and you could put that on here.
But I love the idea if it's a moving in present for somebody as well, the day they've actually gone in, you know, to have on that friendship. Because I mean, the other thing about they're going to. We talked about the sort of luxuriousness of the feel of these, but also the hard wearing. So these aren't something that's going to be worn out overnight. These are going to be there, like the Christmas ones. If you're doing the Christmas ones, you're going to bring them out season after season for those, aren't you? Because they're durable as well.
That's right, and they're not going to go out of fashion. They've got so many colours within them that you're likely to keep that palette. If you are gifting it to someone, and I always think you should do this on a cushion or anything really. I love hidden messages, but perhaps put it in the cushion bag, put the cushion pad in there, and then put a little message in. Might never get read, but
lovely.
you've put it in there, haven't
that's
you? And
a
I just
lovely
love the idea that actually, as long as it's a nice message, obviously, you've got something that you've written, something a little bit special. Awful, I'm sorry about that.
I'm just thinking what you could put in someone's cushion that was nice, you know. Like if they finally got round to giving it a wash after a few years, you just got in there at last, or when they pull it out or something. But yeah.
No, you only give them to nice people anyway, don't you?
That's
But
true.
yeah, just put a little note in saying, you know, the date and why you made it for them,
Oh,
or
how
just a
lovely.
little bit of history maybe. How long have we got left?
We've got about 8 minutes.
Can I just go through a little bit of counted cross stitch?
Yeah,
whilst
lovely.
We've just
Thank
got.
you. Is this from the lavender?
This is going to be the lavender pouches
The
actually,
pouches.
because this is something else I've been working on this week. So, again, these are great little kits. You've got everything that you need within these kits. You've got these little pouches. And I know if you saw the last show, you might have seen me talking about this, but I did want to go through it again in case you have got them. So you're stitching within the pouch. And again, this starts off quite stiff, and then it will soften up as you begin to work with it. And you're going to start at the bottom. And on the instructions, it'll tell you to start about 1 centimetre from the bottom. And then you need to establish what is the halfway point on this. So if I just get one of the bags out.
Okay.
And you've got a couple of ways of doing this. So, in fact, I've got one here already. So you're going to fold it in half to find that centre line. Excuse me. And you could possibly put a pin in there just so that you can identify where that centre line is. What you could also do, if you have an air erasable pen maybe, is just again put a line down the centre there so that you know where you're starting. Because as you notice on the chart, this is your centre line. And this is where you are going to start.
Right.
So you're starting about 1 centimetre up. Now, to start 1 centimetre up and stitch down there, I found a little bit tricky. So what I did is I turned it upside down, and I turned my chart upside down, and so I stitched down towards myself on the chart, and I found that a lot easier to actually understand where I was. I've nearly done to the top of my design anyway on here, and it does give me full instructions on how to put that little tie through there as well. On my chart, you'll notice it's green. So this is the stitches that I have completed. This is, again, a large chart. Look at the difference in size between the chart and the actual stitching. So you've got lots and lots of room on there to make a note. But it just means that when you have put it down because you've stopped for some reason, you can pick it up and you know exactly where you've got to. If you've never done a cross stitch before. This is a perfectly good one to start with. It's not at all complicated. There's no half stitches in there, little bit of back stitch. These are actually full stitches, the white stitches. It's the back stitch on it that's creating that heart shape.
Ah,
So
okay.
it's really, really nice one. Now, what I would recommend is have a quick look at the darker colours and do the darker colours, because that's easier, I find, for the contrast to then work the lighter colours.
Right.
And then just on the actual thread organiser, again, you've got your little labels. Now, look at the mess I've made of this, honestly. Goodness
You're
me.
allowed.
Oh, honestly, that's the bits I've used. But on my thread organiser, you'll see that I've put the symbols for each of the symbols
got you.
on the chart itself, which is here, so that it's easily identifiable.
Nice reference to work through.
Yeah,
I got you.
absolutely. And the other thing that I chose this one, I didn't want to cut it up before I showed you it because it was the centre. But what I did find was that the dog, who wants to sit on my knee when I'm stitching, kept moving it all the time. So what I would do is I'd just actually cut it down. And again, you've got a little project on the go then if you want to take it with you. And cross stitching is just such a lovely craft to do. If you've never tried it, I do recommend it. It's really, really relaxing. Any sort of stitching is relaxing, isn't it? But that's just a few hints and tips on how to start with your cross stitch.
That's really lovely. If you fancy going for that one, for the potpourri kit, I mean, they are beautiful. They're gorgeous projects to work on, like you say. And if you are going to put a little bit of the potpourri in there as well, your lavenders, absolutely gorgeous. You do get the 3 projects, and I think you'll agree, 3 projects for $18.99 to work on is a really good deal. Instructions, you've got everything. You've got the little tag as well you put on. You've got the needle. You've got those lovely clear instructions, good sizable instructions. Again, if you think about that compared to the actual image you're seeing on there, really good. 910044 is your item code for those ones, of course. They're all there for you, and everything else, those lovely smaller projects on the website for you on Hochanda.com if you'd like to go for those. But 3 beautiful of the accounting cross-stitch projects there for just $18.99. Absolutely brilliant. Now, I tell you, it has been another fantastically busy show. And if you are just starting out on your cross-stitching journey, really, honestly, good luck with those, because how lovely to start something. And we'd love to see how you're getting on. When are you back on the show again? When are you back?
No, actually, Scott,
We've not got a date yet.
Not yet.
We must get one in that diary. We must get that one in there so that we can show us again exactly how you've been getting on with these. But who knows where this will lead on to for the projects, because you've got lovely clarity in your instructions. You've got everything you need. You've got so much of your material, again, with all your beautiful threads to actually bring these to life. And they are lovely, that are going to last. Great to give, but great to have for yourself. Our lovely Wolf, he is limited stock right now. So again, if this one is on your radar, they're all on that same item code, 176826. Please make sure you do get this and checked out. It's also got sunflowers on there, the mixed flowers, the ladybirds. We've got also the blue tit that's on there, the lovely blue, the crocuses. They're all there for you. We've all got the sleeping dog and also the sleeping cat that are there for you. 176826, and they're just $28.99. And what lovely projects for you to work. Oh, don't forget ladybirds as well, which is gorgeous. The other projects are also all there. They work beautifully. Some of these, again, will all work very nicely with the floral ones we've got. But all your back-ins are also on the website for you as well to go from. For those back-in, you've got black, white, natural and grey to choose from if you would like to make sure you got that kit complete. Well, that's it. Our time has come to an end, and, which is... I finished off 2020 with the show together. Lovely to sort of start 2021 together, which is absolutely brilliant as well.
It's so lovely. It's an absolute joy working with you, Scott. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you so much, dear. And so we don't know when you're back on yet?
No, but I'm sure it won't be too long, because these are just too lovely not to share, aren't they?
They are. It seems that they're getting... I mean, the shows get busier and busier as it goes through, and I wonder if that is a trend of just people really just thinking, what have I got to lose? Why not? You know?
I think so, and I think actually once you've done one, you sort of think, oh, I need the next one now.
Yeah.
I need to get my cushion fixed, because they're just so wonderful.
Yeah, and always find that if you've got the good cushion in the living room, someone always tries to nick it from you. So
Yes.
to have 2 is always a wise thing anyway, whatever that will be. Well, listen, a safe journey back home as well.
Likewise.
Love you to see you, and thank you. I look forward to to the next show together. Yeah, thank you very much indeed as well. I really genuinely hope that you got some lovely projects. We really can't wait to see how you're getting on with those. I'm sure there'll be a lot of fun to do, but once they're complete, much more comfortable to have, and much more beautiful looking sofa as well once they are all done and complete. Please don't go anywhere. We've got more fantastic shows for you again this Saturday night, and I will see you hopefully very, very soon. Good night. Well, you've got the Dream is One Day special repeat for your show now. Honestly, it's so busy. Lovely ladies here in the studio. Then we've got All and Create Big Stave. Then Stamps Away. Have a cracking Saturday.